So, what on earth could a 1400-year-old sacred text and a modern MRI scanner possibly have in common? I know, it sounds a little out there. But today, we're exploring the really surprising connections between ancient wisdom and cutting edge science, all on the topic of breastfeeding. So, here's the big question we're cackling. Could these two incredibly different sources, one from ancient faith, the other from the pinnacle of modern science, actually be telling us the exact same story about how to best nurture a child? Let's dive in and find out. All right, first up, let's talk about a question almost every new parent has. How long should you breastfeed? It's a huge topic, and it turns out both of our sources have some surprisingly specific thoughts on it. So, this sacred text lays out a very specific time frame. It says 30 months for the whole process, from conception through weaning. This gives us a really clear, solid number to start with. Okay, let's do some quick math. If you take that 30-month total and subtract a typical 9-month pregnancy, what's that leave you with? Right, about 21 months. And this lines up perfectly with other guidance in the text that suggests breastfeeding for up to 2 full years. So, there you have it, a clear recommendation from this ancient perspective. Now, let's shift gears and look at the milk itself. What's actually in it? Ancient texts talk about it in these almost mystical terms, but what does modern science tell us about what makes it so, well, special? The ancient source literally describes breast milk as having magical qualities, like it's this perfect protective substance designed just for the baby. But what's the biology behind this so-called magic? Let's take a closer look. It's actually a pretty beautiful biological process when you think about it. Hormones get the body ready during pregnancy, but it's that very first feed from the baby that flips the switch and signals production to really kick in. And from that moment on, it becomes this perfect supply and demand system, with the body making exactly what the baby needs when they need it. And the result is basically a protective shield for the infant. I mean, breast milk is just packed with antibodies to fight off infections. It's super easy to digest. It helps build up the baby's own immune system, and it even helps strengthen their jaw development. It's an all-in-one superfood. The ancient source actually takes it a step further. It speculates that the source of the milk can influence a child's character. It suggests that human milk helps foster good, righteous traits, while something like cow's milk could, well, lead to more cow-like behaviors. It's a fascinating glimpse into the ancient belief in just how profoundly our diet can shape us. This whole idea of building character brings us to the long-term impact on development. So, what exactly is going on inside a baby's brain during this incredibly important time? So, this sacred text draws a direct line here. It says that proper nursing helps raise children of high character, kids who go on to do good things in their communities. That's a really powerful statement, isn't it? Linking early nutrition directly to lifelong behavior. But how do you measure something like character in a laboratory? Well, science gives us a way. We can look at the brain's physical development, the actual foundation for things like learning, language, and emotion. And that scientific research, it led to one really powerful number: 30%. A major study out of Brown University, using MRI scans, found something incredible. Infants who were exclusively breastfed showed 20 to 30% more growth in key areas of the brain compared to formula-fed infants. What they found was a lot more white matter in the brains of breastfed babies. Now, if you're not a neuroscientist, just think of white matter as the brain's high-speed internet cabling. It's the communication network. More of it means faster, more efficient connections. And that impacts everything: language, emotional control, basically the very building blocks of what we might call character. So let's pull all of this together. We've looked at duration, composition, and development through 2 completely different lenses, from 2 different worlds. So let's just recap for a second. When it comes to duration, both perspectives point to a longer time frame. For composition, the ancient idea of a magical protective substance lines up perfectly with the scientific discovery of antibodies and custom nutrients. And the idea of fostering a righteous character, well, that's strikingly similar to seeing a 20 to 30% increase in critical brain matter. The words are different, sure, but the core message is almost identical. And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. When ancient wisdom and modern science line up this perfectly, it makes you wonder, what other profound knowledge from our past is just sitting there, waiting for us to rediscover it?